Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Emma. I love all things musical theater, and today we are actually going to be talking about the new Gypsy revival starring Audra McDonald. Well, not new, it's been running for a minute, but you know what I mean. Some quick history background. The show was made in 1959, music by Jule Styne, lyrics by Sondheim, and the book by Arthur Laurents. It was basically created as a vehicle for the star Ethel Merman at the time. The musical is loosely inspired by the memoirs of Gypsy Rose Lee, where we follow the story of Rose, who is trying everything in her power to make her two children stars on the vaudeville circuit. The story ends with the daughter Louise becoming Gypsy Rose Lee, the well-renowned burlesque stripper back in the day. It's a wild show when you think about it. It's a pretty wild story. There are a couple things why this show is unique in this season. The first one, obviously, is the fact that it is a black cast in the first time in the production of Gypsy on Broadway anyways. I believe the first Rose, led by a black woman, was Leslie Uggams in a regional production. I can't remember where. This is also the first show that is being performed in the renovated Majestic Theater, where Phantom of the Opera was playing for a million years before then. That was a really cool thing to see in the theater, was seeing it completely renovated. When you went to see Phantom, it was just like sad. Just sad to walk into. It was also going to perform music that hasn't been heard since the 1959 Broadway revival, which I found really interesting looking more into it. It seemed a bit more complex than that sentence sounds. They fully restored the original score. Something that I found very interesting is John Kander made the original dance arrangements. John Kander from Kander and Ebb. I just found that wild when I was doing my research on the whole score restoration. I've always been an Audra fan. The last time I saw her perform live was in the production of Porgy and Bess, which was like, I was really curious to see how she was going to be in this role vocally, since we all know her as a very trained classic soprano. Danny Bernstein is always going to have a special place in my heart. So of course, I was excited to see him as well. I was very Joy Woods curious. I heard a lot of good things about her from The Notebook, so I was very curious to see how she was going to perform. With all that said, let's get right into it. I got rush tickets for this show. I really lucked out and got front row mezzanine seats. I was on the far left side of the audience, but I still was able to see everything perfectly. George C Wolfe directed this production. I thought he did a very good job with it. It's interesting. I didn't really see anything that popped out to me that I thought, wow, that was really innovative and really different. Gypsy is a very traditional musical, and I think he kept it very traditional, which, hey, I respect that. This is the first show I've ever seen of his. I was really hoping to see Shuffle Along when that was running, but unfortunately I wasn't able to see it. So I thought having this be my first experience seeing his work live was really nice. I really liked what he did with this production. Camille Brown, her choreography was really awesome. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the whole Josephine Baker moment that they did at the end of Act 2, which I'll get into a little bit later, I thought that was really fun. I loved the dance that she gave to Tulsa. It was my favorite. It was yummy, it was sexy, it was debonair, but it also had that, it still felt very amateur. It just looked like a lot of fun to create. I hope it was a lot of fun to create. It kind of gave me the idea that maybe that dance kind of was created organically a little bit, if that makes sense. The set design I absolutely loved. It was made by Santo Laquasto. I hope I'm saying that right. I thought it looked really gritty. There were pops of colors here and there, only in specific areas, like when they were at the Chinese restaurant or in Gypsy Rose's dressing room at the end of Act 2. It was a nice little kind of a happy medium between minimal and maximal. You could feel like you're in the theater in a sense, because I mean the majority of the scenes are in theaters, but I liked that it kind of was like that outline a little bit of the stage that it reminds you that we're still in a theater putting on a play. Like a little bit Brechtian, a little bit. They did have a car on the stage for the Some People reprise. That's the only time you see that car, but I was still bawling in tears. I thought it was absolutely so fun. It was so fun. I also loved the set pieces that they used for the vaudeville performances with the kids. It felt very secondhand. You could easily see that Rose and the kids painted those sets and everything and made those costumes. And what was really nice for an added added dimension and just more play space for the actors is that he added a walkway around the orchestra pit, which I thought was really fun. I think that that additional play space was a lot of fun to work with and to showcase the actors. But I'm not gonna lie, when those kids were running around on that walkway, I was so nervous that they were gonna fall into the orchestra pit, just how close they were cutting the corner. I was like, ah! But yes, 2 thumbs up for set design, absolutely. Hands down. Something that I actually wanted to like add as a little fun fact is that Bill Bologna, he recently did a YouTube video of him talking about his time working on his Broadway productions. He's been in the business for years, ever since Annie. He is basically kind of like the known animal trainer for Broadway productions. He's worked at regional productions too. I actually met him when he did Wizard of Oz at Northern Stage many a year ago. But he actually talks about this production of Gypsy and how they had to use a fake mechanical lamb in Act 1 when Gypsy is gifted the lamb for her birthday. I believe the majority of animals in general are not allowed to be used for performances. I think really dogs are the only ones left. I think. I could be wrong, but I found that really interesting that he added that little tidbit when he was talking about his time working in theater. So probably the Pat LuPone production back in 2008 was the last Gypsy production that featured a real lamb. I thought that was interesting, thought you might like it too. The last thing I will note before going into performances is the sound design, and it was bad. It felt so stuck and suffocated. It felt like I was like watching a TV show. I felt like I was watching something on an actual television because it just felt like it stayed on the stage. It never went out into the audience. It felt like a bizarre sound barrier where they were getting the sound that they needed on stage, which is very important and vital for the actors to hear what is going on. But we weren't able to get that in the mezzanine anyways. I can't speak for people in the orchestra, but it was such a bizarre experience hearing that. Like, of course we can hear the orchestra loud and proud, how can you not? But when it came to the actors, it was really weird. Like, we can hear them fine, but it just didn't go into the space. It didn't go out. It just stayed in. It was weird. It was weird. As for performances, those kids, fire, lit. They were on their A game. Oh my gosh. They read those adults to filth. They were so talented. If they keep going in this, they're gonna go far. So far. Jordan Tyson, who played Dainty June, and I believe she was also in The Notebook, playing the youngest female lead in that show. I thought she was so chaotic, so childish, immature in that role, which I found really fun. I just love that she didn't make her more mature, I guess. I feel like having her be stuck in such a childish, whiny, screamy, wild, hot mess of a girl who has been told that she's 9 for the past millennia. I thought it was a really fun way to showcase that character, and also what a princess track. She's literally only in Act 1 for about 20 to 30 minutes, I think, and then she's like gone. We saw an understudy go on for Tulsa, who is Tony DeLeo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and I'm really sorry. I thought he was lovely. When he danced All I Need Is the Girl, I was just like, oh, that's so yummy. That is so fun. I thought it was really lovely. Really good work. Leslie Margarita played Tessitura. I felt so bad because I kept looking at her being like, I don't think that's Leslie. Is she not on? I mistook her with Leslie Kritzer, and I am ashamed of that. I thought she was great. Again, what a princess track. Just vibing until she's on for 20 minutes in Act 2 and then peace. Joy Woods was great. Apparently it took her a while to get into that character, which I thought, okay, that was some tea that I was shared recently. She did seem very stiff, but I don't know if that was in terms of her trying to physicalize the introverted side of Louise that we see in the entirety of the show. She's a very insecure, very small person compared to Dainty June, who is out, loud, proud. But with this one, it wasn't so much socially awkward. She really went into the quietness of that character and really diving into the fact that, again, she's been treated like a child for so many years that she doesn't know how to act like an adult. And so you see her do a lot of these childish things, especially when it comes to holding her mom. Physically, it was really interesting, and it therefore made the transformation into Gypsy very jarring. Danny Burstein, a joy. as always, how can you not love him? This is the 5th time I've seen him perform, and he always brings his A game. Just really lovely. I completely forgot how small this part was, and I wanted to see more of him. I thought he did great. I thought the chemistry between him and Audra was absolutely gorgeous. Just really, so love, and it just made it so heartbreaking at the very end when he leaves. I'm even getting emotional thinking about it. Oh my god. And last but not least, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about Audra. Girl, you can't mess with that woman. That woman can do no wrong. That woman can take any role and she's like, I will eat that up and leave no crumbs for anyone. I thought she really embodied this woman so well. She was desperate. She was raw. She was ready to do anything to make her children stars. And also what was really interesting watching this again is like you can see how much she relies on her children. Like she relies on her children to give her the purpose to make them stars, which is what makes the whole end of Act 2 just so, oh god, I just love this show so much. I love this show. It's just so good. It's so well written. It's just so I thought her voice was very strong with this score. I think a lot of people just really miss the brassy, loud belt that we have been known to hear ever since Ethel Merman originated the part. But I think this grounded the character much more, not having her be such a strong, belty singer. Like, yes, Audra can belt, come on now, let's be real here. But having that mix of her soprano to come in, also her singing the B flat in Wherever We Go, I was like, okay. I was like, way to read us to filth right then and there. Oh my god, it was perfect. But I just thought having those soprano elements like really made the character a bit more real, if that makes sense. I also thought it was like kind of like a fun thing for me to think about, like, oh, maybe when she tried to do this when she was younger, maybe she tried being a soprano singer on the circuit. That was kind of made me go into that little idea, which makes me excited. It kind of like when thoughts start bubbling in my head, that makes me think, okay, this is on the right track here. So I think instead of like her singing being very park and bark like we're used to, it was very much within the energy of the character. I can't help but give Audra 5 stars. I mean, how can you not? I mean, there's a reason why she is the most Tony-nominated actor in history. Hello. So some things that I was thinking about afterwards, the biggest thing that I found really disappointing is how much they changed in the Gypsy montage. We basically see a whole montage of Gypsy Rose Lee becoming the big global superstar. And within the montage, she does crowd work, but for some reason, George C. Wolfe decided to omit those moments. I would say that he probably had like half of those in there. The biggest one was for the final performance that we see in this montage. Usually it's like a Garden of Eden-esque kind of thing, but instead he made it into a Josephine Baker moment, which is fine, but I think it was a huge disservice to lose that crowd work moments because it just showed a massive difference between her being a performer and her sister June being a performer. June was known for being the singing, dancing calamity that she was known for. Yeah, she did like certain crowd work and whatnot, but she didn't actually speak to the audience. While Gypsy, on the other hand, like she brought her audience in with her, which made her even more alluring and sexy. And when she like starts stripping, that makes it even more sensual if she's, addressing the audience, making them feel vulnerable. Of all the things, like that was the biggest issue that I had with that show. I was like, I get what they were trying to do, but it was fine. Hi, editing me here. I think I just made a massive lie. I don't think what I said is factual. I think the Gypsy montage is all music, I believe. I'm referencing the 2008 production with Patti LuPone and Laura Benanti, and since Arthur Laurents directed it, I just assumed that it was in the original book, so I could be totally wrong. I really should do a video essay on this. And also, after seeing this, I understand why Audra didn't win Best Actress in a musical, nor Gypsy didn't win for Best Revival of a Musical at the Tony Awards. It's because it's just another Gypsy. There's nothing different about it. Yes, we have it through the Black experience, and that's really important to share. But besides that, that's really it. They kept the story very traditional. They added other implements of the Black experience that I thought was very unique, i.e. the Josephine Baker moment. But besides that, there really wasn't anything innovative about it, which I feel really naive that I was saying that it was so innovative before. But after seeing it, it's like, it's just another Gypsy. There really isn't anything unique to it. And, you know, compared to Sunset Boulevard, that was like a complete 180, you can see why it won in both of those categories. And I'm not saying that Audra isn't talented. I'm not saying that the show isn't strong. It's a really phenomenal show. But at the same time, when it came to making those votes, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a big factor. It was just another revival of Gypsy. But despite that, I thought it was phenomenal. I was crying every 5 minutes. The music was lush. The performances were just dazzling. It was so nice to also be in a theater with a 25-piece orchestra. Come on now. And Audra's Rose's turn, oh my God, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I was bawling. Oh my God. It was just so, it encapsulated everything of what makes Audra such a phenomenal performer. That Tony performance, no. Like, first off, what a cruel thing to have a woman do for a Tony Award performance is sing freaking Rose's turn. Like, come on now. Like, let her do Everything's Coming Up Roses. That's what they had Patty do. That performance does not compare to when she does the entire show and is living this woman's life, and she finally just throws it up on the stage. It was everything I dreamed of and more. It was so good, and I really hope that you are able to see it if you want to go and see it. It's unfortunately closing on August 17th. It's absolutely heartbreaking. If you're able to get tickets, I highly recommend it. You are going to see such a phenomenal performance. You're going to see such a phenomenal show. I feel like Gypsy is one of those shows where it's like such a love letter to theater as well, and the upbringings of theater. It's just overall a phenomenal show. Like, how can you go wrong? Rush and lottery tickets are available for this show through Telecharge. If you really want to see Audra, just make sure that you check the performances beforehand. Montego Glover covers her for some of the Sunday performances. I believe Audra added 2 more Sunday performances, probably the last 2 Sunday performances before they close. So definitely double check that. Unless you want to see Montego Glover, I hear that she's great. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this, please give us a like. That really helps out the channel. Leave a comment down below if you've seen the show. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like? What did you not like? Please tell me everything. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos, or if you have seen more videos and want to join this little circle, please consider subscribing. It would be great to have you here. May you be happy, healthy, safe, and at ease, and free from harm. And I will see you in the next one.